Well, there's a red dot on the screen. Well, multiple red dots, but the one we're looking for is Welcome to Shield. No, we are not going to partake in the buying of anything, but we are going to take a look at Enigma and all of the folks that are going to be involved in her Welcome to Shield. So the first person we're going to deal with is Icarus, red, purple, and yellow user. His red ability, it costs 8, and what it'll allow him to do, he'll deal damage to the target, ignoring any enemy projectiles, and then if he happens to be returned from being airborne, you generate 3 purple and 3 yellow AP, but you have to fire the ability off. That's the important thing. Next up, Gift of Levitation. This is the annoying ability of Icarus. It costs 6. He goes airborne for 4 turns. And then passively, as long as he's airborne and he has no active allies, which he won't, whenever he makes a match, he'll deal match damage to the enemy in the back. Well, in this case here, there's not going to be any enemies in the back. It's just going to be Enigma, and she's going to be taking all 380% damage. And then Rise Again is his passive. We don't have to worry about this too much because this is a one-on-one fight. But at the start of the turn, if Icarus is down and he happens to have any allies, and he has 9 or more AP in yellow, you drain all your AP, you get revived with 100% of your health, and you go airborne for 5 turns. Huh? Okay. Additionally, his match damage is increased by 25% for every yellow AP that you have. And this also happens while he's airborne as well. Affiliations, heroes, Eternals, God, like, and deity for all those that care. Enigma also happens to be a yellow, red, and purple user. So we'll take a look at that there real quick as I throw in these boosts that I may or may not need. I See You is her purple ability that costs 5, and we have 1 or 2 things that we can do. So the first version that's learned, you create a 2-turn yellow density repeater tile that deals 995 damage, then fortifies up to 3 friendly special tiles, and then she becomes light. And at the start of the battle, she becomes heavy, and then whenever she makes a match 4 or greater, she deals 499 damage. If she becomes light, then it becomes a change of phase. Change of phase creates a 2-turn density repeater tile that deals same amount of damage, 995 again at this level. All airborne enemies take 1780 damage for each friendly density tile on the board and land, and then she becomes heavy. And at the start of the battle, she becomes light, and whenever she makes a match 4 or greater, you send the target airborne for 3 turns. And then if she becomes heavy, it becomes I See You. I'm gonna go with that one there. Now we probably want to avoid the match 4s, you know, because Icarus, he goes airborne, and then he's gonna gain AP, and well, not gain AP, but he'll be able to deal damage to us. Hard as Diamond is both active and passive for 6 yellow. She'll create a red density repeater tile that deals 1795 damage plus an additional 1359 for each friendly density tile on the board, and then she becomes heavy. And then while she's heavy, she takes less damage for each friendly density repeater tile up to 1493. And each density tile also deals 624 damage for each enemy special tile when they activate. Well, Icarus doesn't have any enemy special tiles, so we don't have to worry about that. And then Become as Smoke is another one of her abilities that happens to be 666. It's both active and passive as well. So she'll deal damage and then creates a yellow repeater tile that sends the target airborne for a turn, plus 1 for each additional density tile on the board, up to 4 turns. And then she becomes light, and while she's light, her damage ignores all projectiles and damage reduction, which will be kind of cute against Wanda, 5-star Wanda, and then also deal, well, density tiles deal 965 damage to all airborne enemies, so that's cool. Affiliations, heroes, avengers, and technologists for all those that care. And see her artwork, US Avengers, cool, with Squirrel Girl. We got the homie Ares. Alright, let's see here. So Agents of Hydra, yada yada yada. So primarily what we want to do here against Icarus, we want to make sure he doesn't get airborne. That's the key. So let's Become as Smoke. Send him airborne for 2 turns to get. He's gonna deal us a little bit of extra damage. Cool. And then when he comes back from being airborne, well, yeah, dealing some damage. Alright, that fortifies them. Then I'm gonna alternate it. Send them airborne. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters to a degree. Let me go this way. They're not purple. He'll come back from being airborne. Cool, Matthew dealing damage. Alright, that was kind of cute there. Thanks Alliance, as per usual for playing. Got 3 more days until another legendary token, so that'll be at least Wednesday at the earliest. Alright. Because I can't use stuns. Cool, let's just use the homie North Star. Well, I should have probably used one of the dads for Father's Day, but Alright, second strongest color is red, so let's send her up north. Yeah, that's the Prime Month token there for North Star. We'll make sure we use one of the dads momentarily to warm up. Alrighty, Hawkeye, the modern version. Blue, purple, and red user, though not in those particular orders. His purple is called Speed Shot. It's passive. You make a magic power greater, he creates some number of 2-turn countdown tiles. When those countdown tiles reach 0, they deal damage to whomever's out in front. His red ability, I forget the name of it, Blast Arrow, I believe that's what it's called. It is a 9 AP move, and what it will do, you'll create, you select a red basic tile, create a 2-turn countdown tile on it, and then when it reaches 0, it deals damage to the enemy team. And then finally, his blue ability is Charge Arrow, if I'm not mistaken. What is it? Electric Arrow, close enough. This costs 9, creates a 2-turn, or it creates a countdown tile. At level 3, it's a 3-turn. And then it stuns the target for 2 turns, and then reduces enemy AP in 2 colors, 2 random colors by 4 each. Now, to be fair, I would have forgotten that portion of it, but I do remember about the stun. Higher levels increase the length of stuns, the length of the countdown tile, but the stuns are, the AP is still randomly selected. And his affiliations: Heroes, Avengers, Team Cap, Defenders, Archers, Thunderbolts, and street level for all those I care. I don't know why I got out of it that quick, but at least we'll get a chance to see Speed Shot, maybe. I don't know if she's gonna last 2 turns. You're probably wondering, well, why the 5-star Cyclops? Father's Day Vault did. He was the closest I could get to. Alright, Squirrel Girl. She is one of the featured characters in the... Should've just did Luke Cage from the Father's Day thing. I digress. Squirrel Girl is one of the featured characters in the vault that's going on, or the season that's going on, the new Avengers vault, and this is her costume here. Her yellow ability costs 9. What it'll do, it'll create yellow projectiles based on how much damage or how much health that the enemy who is out in front has, and unfortunately that happens to end the turn, and it's called the bigger they are. So if they have any 80% more health, it creates pretty stronger strike tiles. If they have less than 80% health, then 185. Again, this is her at champion, well, ascended level 4 champion, 330. I hate the fact that it ends the turn, but whatever. Nuts from Above is her purple ability that costs 9. It deals damage based on the number of enemy strike attack projectiles that are on the board, up to 8. So you deal damage and then additional damage, like I said, for each enemy strike attack or projectile on the board. And the Furry Friends is her green ability that happens to cost 11. She will convert 4 basic green tiles into green countdown tiles. At the start of each turn, they'll destroy some tiles that are adjacent to those countdown tiles. When the countdown tiles reach 0, they'll deal damage, but each turn they're going to deal damage regardless. Yeah, destroy a random basic tile for each furry friend. Again, that's the passive, and then you're going to deal damage. That's 38.69 per countdown tile. Just so we're clear. And her affiliations, as I'm going through this here really quickly: Heroes, Avengers, Team Captain, A-Force for all those that care. Now this here would be perfect for Satsu, using the nuts from above. Probably should have Luke Cage on the front. Okay, there we go. There's a defender. There's a defender again. Now Lockheed should be able to fortify one of these tiles. There we go. Alright, let's at least get Doreen to green going. Charge. There's squirrels. Or squirrels. 1 point of damage. See, there goes the damage right there from squirrels. There's turn to smoke. And then we'll fire. We don't fire the bigger car. The fire that's from above. Not that the additional projectiles would have ended the game or advanced our game state even further, but cool. Alright, from one new Avenger to another one: Hulkling, yellow, purple, and green user, though again not in that particular order. I'm just trying to find. Yeah, we'll go with Talos. Why not? Green, good communication skills. This one here costs 4. You deal damage plus an additional 1378 damage for each smash countdown tile on the board, and then you create 2 6-turn smash green countdown tiles. Green smash countdown tiles. And if there are 3 or more smash tiles on the board, you destroy all of those. You destroy the 18 surrounding tiles, and you deal 689 damage to other enemies. And then you end the turn, and obviously destroy tiles don't generate AP. King's Decree. This one is his yellow ability that's both active and passive. Actively, you select a special tile, and then among the tiles that are in that row and the rows above, you convert enemy special tiles to basic tiles. You fortify any friendly special tiles, and you empower friendly strike, attack, and protect tiles by 70%. And then passively, whenever Teddy fires off an ability, converts 3 team up AP into one of his allies' strongest colors. Friendly team up AP tiles that are matched deal 30% more damage, and you gain 2 extra team up AP. Now this here would pair up well with someone like Koye that really wants the team up AP, not the whole conversion of enemy friendly and enemy strike, attack, or protect tiles. That she just wants the AP. And then finally, metamorphic adaptation. This one here costs 5, and depending on which color you select, there's going to be different effects. So if you choose a red countdown tile, it becomes enter the fray. If you choose a red basic tile or just red tile in general, into the fray. If you choose yellow, it creates a 5-turn countdown tile for yellow, and it becomes hardened spikes. If you happen to choose purple, he goes airborne for 2 turns, and it becomes arrow annoyance, and each one of those has different abilities. Into the fray, again if you chose red. Hulkling's powers and matches deal 50% more damage, and then when the countdown tile is expired or destroyed, you heal a burst of health, and it goes back into metamorphic adaptation. Hardened spikes takes 50% less damage, and then you deal 574 damage to the enemy team when damaged by matches or abilities, and then when it's destroyed, another burst of healing, same amount. And then arrow annoyance. If Hulkling is airborne at the start of the turn, you create an attack tile and you steal 6 AP among the enemy's 2 strongest colors. And then when he returns from being airborne, he heals for 5130 health, and it becomes metamorphic adaptation. This time I didn't click too fast. For Teddy's abilities or affiliations, daily play, heroes, team cap, and young Avengers, for all of those that care. Stop doing my countdown tiles. I kind of need those there for payloads. Kind of. Teddy stuff is whatever. Alright, we'll activate another one of the good communication skills. Communicado. Now sadly with Hulkling though, if he happens to go airborne, we can't do any of the shenanigans that we could do with Icarus and with our boy Vulture, so that's the downside there. And then day 1 test of skill, ah dang. We got the brand new rescue, Tony Ho. And I'm trying to see here, mines will not be able to do too much of heavy lifting. So yeah, we will be definitely reserving these for boss stars. So either Mephisto or Jane Foster Thor or even Aunt May, they will be heavily used for the fight. Alright, but let's get a character that has repeater tiles out, or that can utilize repeater tiles. To best look at her abilities. So where are you, Lizard? Or we could go with Throg, that'll work. Alright. Modular engineering. This is her green ability. Her blue ability. That costs 5. I mean, that's cost 6. Again, her scheme is 666 too. Modular engineering cost 6. That depends on what you choose: assault, suppression, or repair. They'll do different things. Hang on just a second. Alright, if you happen to choose assault or suppression and repair, you're gonna create a 3-turn repeater tile that repeats the chosen effect. If you choose assault, you'll deal damage to the target every 3 turns. If you choose suppression, you stun a random enemy target for 2 turns. If you choose repair, then you burst heal the team for whatever the listed amount is. And if there happen to be 3 or more friendly repeater tiles on the board, then this power becomes 1 less. And again, that's part of the reason why I happen to get Throg, because if I happen to match blue, it makes stuff a lot cheaper. Iron Patriot Systems, this one here costs 7. For some reason, I don't know why. I thought she was a 666. I'm thinking of old Bessie. Anyways, she deals 60-79 damage to the enemy team. And then whenever a friendly repeater tile reaches 0, you deal damage to the target. And finally, tech support is her YOLO ability that costs 6. It's both active and passive. So you create a 4-turn repeater tile that reduces all other friendly repeater tiles to 0, with the exception of the included tiles. And then at the start of the battle, you create a 4-turn tech support repeater tile, and then while friendly tech support tiles exist, all other technologists on your team deal increased damage and take reduced damage. And obviously, since she's a technologist, again, because she's the daughter of Ho Jensen, duh. Well, duh for me, and several others who are deep in Marvel heroes, duh. Technologists, duh. Geniuses, Stark Tech, and Avengers, considering the fact that her tech is kind of, I ain't gonna say based off of Stark's tech. I mean, her designs are uniquely wholly her own. They just happen to be looking like Stark stuff. Because again, considering who her father was. Alright, let's get some shenanigans going, because Tony will work well with her partner, obviously, because Enigma wants to go airborne, wants to create repeater tiles on the board. Tony wants to do some stuff with repeater tiles, so there you go. There's Iron Patriot Systems. There's skip and jump. Alright. Create another one. Create another repeater tile. Create another countdown tile. Alright, we'll hit change phase. We can get all these countdown tiles to do their thing. Modular engineering, obviously I want suppression because I don't want enemies to have turns. Hop, skip, and a jump goes off. There goes 2 casts of that. And let's go hardest diamond. Deal some damage there. Get some more repeater tiles out on the board. Dog. It may deal damage to us. There it is.
Getting the damage doesn't really bother me too much.
Cool deal, he's gone. Yeah,
Look at that damage just
creeping up. And then he's gonna be done. Boom. And then there's the rest of the count of repeater tiles going boom. So you can kind of see with Tony Ho,
you get the right characters that have
one turn repeater tiles that can do a good amount of damage. Now, before we go into the pulling, let's actually go to ability descriptions, and then we're gonna go with repeaters.
or just repeater in general. And then this is a
Complete listing of everybody that makes repeaters. We'll start with 3 stars and work our way down, or 2 stars. Bessie, she does it with her black ability. It'll be a yellow countdown tile or yellow repeater tile. Iron Patriot does it with his red ability.
Arcade does it with his black.
Yeah, it's either his black or, well, I know there's black for sure. Happy birthday. There goes the, yeah, 1 turn Doombot, and then insert coin. With Flame Burst.
Yeah, making sure that's a repeater.
And then obviously this also applies to the 5-star version as well. Stronger effects. Emma will do it with her purple ability, if I'm not mistaken, or is it her yellow? No, it's not that one. Actually, that switches the board.
Yeah,
Huh?
it just said repeaters in general.
The 4-star Emma Frost
For sure deals with repeater tiles. She creates a repeater tile.
with her yellow ability, and
I think it's the only one that she does, because her purple, no, purple is a repeater as well. We'll get to the 4-star in a moment. Johnny Storm with his green, Frank with his black,
Sam Wilson, I don't remember you dealing with no
repeater tiles. I know you destroyed.
Hobgoblin creates repeaters at the start of the battle.
Magic will create.
Repeaters with her, what is it? Was it her dark magic, if I'm not mistaken? I know that converts.
That one deals damage. Was it drag me to limbo? I know when she transforms, I know she'll convert. She'll do some repeat. Yeah, there it is. At the start of the turn of one doesn't exist.
After she transforms into the Dark Child, she creates a 2-turn repeater tile. The 4-star version of Magic obviously deals with repeater tiles with Ruler of Limbo, and then the 5-star Magic does it with her repeater tiles. At the
start of the turn, she creates 2 red repeaters on the board that happen to get if they happen to get matched, they get converted onto
red basic tiles.
That's what her black ability does.
Her red ability will destroy enemy special tiles,
and then create
a repeater tile, and then her purple
Will deal damage to the enemy team.
and it creates a repeater. So she has multiple ways of dealing with repeaters.
So yeah, we talked about Iron Patriot. Vulture doesn't create repeaters.
He just destroys repeaters. Maximus does create repeaters, I know for sure. Cause here, bro.
So that one copies.
Maker. That's the countdown tile on the rightful usurper. Yeah, there it is. The repeater tile.
Purple Man makes repeaters with his purple.
The control, and then manifold manipulation. Again, creates purple so that you can use purple
For the control, and again that you want control.
then this here, and then enthralled masses. This one here creates its repeaters that deal damage, and so there you go. Mr. Fantastic, he does it with his black ability. Annihilus started the battle with Null Void Field.
Lady Octopus, once you
Activate, what was it? Tyrannic Enhancement. No, that's the countdown tile. It ain't armed, that's a tentacle, so it's the other one. Wave generator, yeah. Multiple man.
too many repeater tiles. Because reabsorb, hit me again, my own best friend. Again, you can choose what you want. An enemy, hit me again, that creates dupes.
And then reabsorb again.
Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, Red Repeater,
Dark Veil, because of her, was it not create light in the world, yeah. Sending folks airborne, yada yada yada. Morbius does it with his blue.
give him any version
Of Human Torch.
well, this is the 3-star version of Human Torch, so his is green obviously. And then when we get to the eventual 4-star Johnny Storm right here, his is gonna be on black.
You have Blade, which we already talked about. Angela, she'll do it with the Falcor Beacon.
Dupe, again, you have the choice to make repeater tiles with the
Psychic Meddling. And again, that's the 4-star endless move, Psychic Meddling.
Black Panther does it with his blue.
Again, that's the 3-star Black Panther. 4-star Black Panther does it with his yellow. Dr. Bong creates multiple repeater tiles, especially with his Bong.
Well, this one here destroys the repeater tiles. This one here
Creates repeater tiles here, and this one here creates countdown tiles.
Taskmaster, again, if you one of the abilities you can choose can create
Countdown tiles. Gorr does it at the start of the battle with his black ability, Edge of Shadow and Spite, which we'll be seeing more of him tomorrow. Or actually Nightmare Fuel, that's what it is.
talked about Human Torch.
Clea, I don't remember you making repeater tiles. Okay, off of blue.
Patsy does it with her.
Her yellow ability. Spider-Man Oscorp does his. Start of the battle, if I'm not mistaken.
Spider Glider, or was it Oscorp Egg Bombs? Yeah, there it is.
Kate Pride does it with her red ability.
No, not just a phase. Start of the battle, yeah. Monica started the battle with her blue passive. Lizard with his purple ability. Human Torch Jim Hammond, red. Anti-Venom does it with his purple. Throg, we've seen it whenever you match a blue tile in general. Legion, as long as you're not into his different forms, he'll do it with his Tyranids. The Abominoid, as well as his yellow ability, Kezit. Gowan turns invisible. McCullough, yes sir, that's what it was. Cause I knew one of them, he had two ways to do repeater tiles on the board. Super Scroll does it with Manifest Entity if you happen to choose Human Torch. Yep, so that's the Human Torch on that one there. Nebula does it with her blue. And then we get into the 5-star territory. Ronan does it with his blue ability. Peggy Carter, if I'm not mistaken, this is her blue ability as well, the Calm, yeah. Green Goblin doesn't make repeater tiles, he fortifies repeater tiles, so that'll be decent. Odin does it whenever he fires off his red. We talked about Arcade. Samurai Dakin does it with his anytime you match black. Captain Marvel does it with her green at the start of the battle. Hers destroys. Abigail Brand will do it with her purple ability, I know for sure, peak performance. And then this one, Brand Loyalty, will reduce the length of the countdown tiles or drop it to 0. And then Burn Notice, I think that one there, was that a repeater too? Yeah, it was. So yeah, so she has multiple ways of doing repeaters. Dr. Octopus, this is with his green ability. So by the time you get his cunning scheme all the way to final phase, one turn heals. Riri Williams does it with her blue, but you don't really want to use her blue. Jeffrey does it with his red. I forgot the 3-star Jeffrey does it too. Emma Frost, she does it with her mental block. No, she just destroys repeaters. And then my own best friend, that's Countdown Towel. Gamora, she has a yellow repeater, 2 turns. Thor has a 1-turn repeater. Gambit has a 2-turn repeater on his black passive, though he actually might be better with Tony Hawk because you don't have to worry about firing off her red because you can just use Gambit's red. Kingpin with his green, Loki with his green, Cyclops does it with his red, Iceman does it with his green. Crystal depends on which form of hers you use of elemental affinity. Right? No. No, this just increases. Scarlet Witch, again, she starts at the start of the battle. Rocket and Groot, that's an 11 AP move. Kamala Khan, once she goes airborne with her Cosmic Course, yeah, that's what it was, her Cosmic Course, 2-turn repeater tile. Fortifies, boom, 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 airborne, so there you go. Cable fortifies repeater tiles. Apocalypse makes it with his yellow ability, which I may end up using Apocalypse tomorrow. Agatha does it with her purple. Kitty, whenever there's an enemy special tile on the board. And then Jubilee, hers at the start of the battle. She'll create
4.
with her extra life. 8, my bad. So 8 return.
Repeater tile, so there you go. So that's
Stuff for Tony Ho.
Anyway,
The usual stuff here in these vaults here. Opportunity for a legendary token. Featured 3 stars, 4 stars. Heroics.
red ISO 8, basic sport tokens. No need to save those there, but okay, that might actually be the thumbnail there.
Once I drop it up on YouTube. And then there's a Wolverine.
Okay, Father's Day Vault.
This here's been going on since
Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
you played with any of the guys that have fathers.
I mean, the guys that are fathers. My goodness.
So Cyclops, Sabretooth.
I'm gonna try and list off all the offspring of these guys here from off of memory.
Cyclops, well, his son is up in the vault. This dude here. Sabretooth, his is Grayson Creed.
Ant-Man's Cassie Lang.
Reed Richards is both Valeria and Franklin. Wolverine's is actually in the game.
Akihiro Daken. I mean, if you want to consider X-23 one of his kids, I mean, do your thing. Odin, Thor,
Professor X, Legion. Magneto,
Polaris, though, you know, he still kind of claims Wanda and Pietro as his kids, but they're not. It's
anyway.
Luke Cage, Danny Cage. Pietro is Luna with Crystal.
And then you got your assorted amount of tokens here. So, you know, play with the dads, get your stuff. Pride Month, this year's continuously going on. Any of the characters who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, you know, hey, boom, there you go.
New Avengers, this is still going on. You'll be getting stuff from that there.
As you continue the season XP. This one here's probably pretty decent here. Get your 2-star ascending characters. Well, 1-star ascending characters in the 2. Get 2 seasonal vault tokens for 1500 ISO 8. I mean, could be worse.
And yeah, that is
Pretty much it. Like I said, we'll be doing Gorr sometime another tomorrow.
well,
When the video, I'm recording it on a Sunday. Happy Father's Day, of course. But by the time you see it, maybe on a Monday. I don't know. Depends on when I post it. But thank you all for watching.
be excellent to your fellow human beings. Again, this here really should have took 50 minutes long, but hey, repeaters and have to be,
You know, make sure I give you guys right information.
on stuff using Tony Ho. So we'll be back at it tomorrow. Like I said, I'll use Apocalypse.
Probably to go with Tony Ho.
And yeah, we'll catch you all later. Till then, peace.